So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop. Prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. You might have heard that live shopping is exploding, and I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Come on in here. So yesterday we talked about the M word, momentum. Today, the other M word, motivation, and how to kind of fire it up on yourself just whenever you need it. And a lot of people need that.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost.
How are you? Happy Wednesday. It is the Daily Boost from motivation2move.com. My name is Scott Smith. That's it every single day, motivating you to do something, motivating myself. Is it really motivation, or is it, no, let's kind of learn something? If you're learning, you're growing, and that's going to make good things happen. So that's why we're here. Nice to have you here today. Did you notice yesterday I announced that I have an email I send out every single week? I do 2 or 3, not always 3, usually 2. Good stuff. Kind of a nice, if you've ever found yourself like sitting in a doctor's office or waiting at a stoplight, wherever you, and you're checking your phone, and you say, man, I didn't hear the boost today. Now you have an email that you can read in like 60 seconds, and you get it. Go to notesfromscott.com. You can unsubscribe anytime you want to. All right, so one of the things that I notice when I'm in the mood that I've been in for, 10 days now. I came down with this head cold. Not sure it wasn't COVID. I didn't check myself. I guess we ought to do that. Like we should, right? I guess I didn't check it. Although I didn't get out and spread it. I didn't do that either. I stayed close to home. But when you start feeling bad, sometimes everything kind of stalls. You don't feel like yourself. You can't get out and do the things you want to do. And sometimes you fall in that world of being unmotivated. I just got off a call, my Face Your Passion Inner Circle call. And one of my friends for a very long time, a client of mine for almost 20 years now, Paula, been through many life changes, been through her first hip that she had done about 15 years ago. And just this week, she had her second hip done about 7 days ago. And she shows up on these calls on video, and it looks great, although she's sitting down in the same chair always, and she's just talking about her hip. But the thing that came up was how frustrating it can be not to do the things you want to do. Now, I don't know if you've ever been that way or thought about that. Maybe you had a cold or the flu, and maybe you're just so sick you didn't think about it. But sometimes you'll find people who get really sick, desperately or deathly ill sometimes, and they just can't do the stuff they wanted to do. It is so frustrating for me. Have you ever been in that situation? And a lot of times we get in that situation and we're kind of doing it to ourselves. We're not sleeping right. We're getting too much stress. We're not eating right. We just don't feel like we used to feel. And that'll drag you down. And in some cases, it drags you down for years. And many times you're around people that drag you down for years. You don't even know it. We call it being comfortably miserable. You get in a situation where you know you can do more. You know you can impact the world more. You can impact yourself more, your family more, but you just don't feel like it. So how do you do that? How do you get yourself more motivated to get out the door? So a couple of basic ideas today. Years and years ago when I started this company, I started on the concept, I said, life begins when you move, do some now so you can do more later. Now, we're very physically oriented when I started, but I also understood that the people I was talking to were not necessarily coming to a gym and working out where I was. Motivation Moves started in a gym. It started as in a kickboxing class. But I recognized one day that, man, we just need to move because that gets everything going. We'll talk about why we need to do that here in just a minute. But always remember that actions precede your change, or whatever you're looking to do. Change doesn't precede the action. So this whole company started by saying, physically, let's move. And of course, then I said, well, do it some now so you can do more later. That was 20 years ago. Little did I know I would actually still be here doing this thing. And man, I'm glad I moved because now I actually feel pretty good. But right after that, you heard me say life begins when you move. So I dialed into that. Over the years, I've gone deeper on that. I've said, kind of intellectually and emotionally and physically as well. And life gets in the way and it stops us. So that's what I was talking about a minute ago. Stuff happens. Just don't feel good. You got up on the wrong side of the bed. Had a couple glasses of wine last night, kind of feeling it, and suddenly you're unmotivated. And before you know it, life drags on. So how do you fix that? Well, motivation is not fleeting. Now, a lot of years ago, when we first started studying all this stuff, we thought that motivation was an exhaustible resource. And it is because it kind of lives in the prefrontal cortex of your brain. Has the fewest calories to work with. So motivation kind of comes and goes away. And people said that all the time. But you would also see some people who would get motivated instantly. So think about this. Maybe you've been at work all day long. You're tired. You've been drugged through whatever you've been drugged through all day. And you don't want to do anything. I just want to go home and do nothing. That's my game, right? But as you get home, the phone rings. It's your best buddy. Hey, man, got tickets to the game tonight. You want to go? It's free. And we have free food and beer, too. Isn't it amazing how fast you get motivated to get some energy to go to the game? Think for a minute when that's happened to you. Completely unmotivated, completely don't want to do anything. I'm motivated to stay home and do nothing. And suddenly something changed just like that. The core of motivation, the best part of it is it's all intrinsic. It comes from the inside. So I can inspire some growth, some motivation in you, but until it clicks with you, it's not going to work. You can also renew the supply constantly. And that's one of the things we've learned just in the past few years, that even though it may fade for you a little bit, it can always come back. How does it do that? Well, sometimes it does it on a podcast like this. Sometimes it does it when you get some sleep. Sometimes it does it when you take a walk. Sometimes it does it when you meditate or do yoga. Little things. And it's very personalized to the individual. Little things fire you up. So right now, I want you to think about that right now. If you want to be fired up and motivated, if you want to have the energy to go do something you want to do, even though you're busy already, you have no time to do anything, right? If you wanted to do that, how would you fire yourself up? Do you have a way that you know it works for you? A way when you chill. We talk on the motorcycle often. Call it wind therapy. I know sometimes the only thing that will get my head in the right direction is to jump on the motorcycle and just take a ride. And I wear a helmet, so it's wind therapy, but it's not hair therapy, That's one thing that works for me. The other thing that works for me is taking a little bit of time off. I spend a lot of time online, so I go screen-free for a little bit, just disappear. Sometimes if I want to get motivated, I'm trying to get creative, I'll come in and play with music, come in and maybe record something, have some fun. Yeah, it's weird. It's my job, right? But I've done this my whole entire life, and I understand that typically if I want to be motivated to do something, I dig on a creative angle first. In fact, I did music so early on in my life that many times if I start a project, you're going to see me looking at music first to inspire me to the next thing. What do you do?
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney Plus.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream team.
And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at.
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney Plus, rated PG.
What do you know inside of you just fires you up naturally? I run into this all the time when I'm working with people. And they know, and typically what they'll say to me is, yeah, but I don't have time, or I'm too busy, or I'm too stressed, and I can't get there. Which is really sad when you actually know what it takes to get you fired up. So think about that for just a moment. If there were 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 things that you knew that if you just did that, it puts you in a different state of mind, it gets you fired up, gets you motivated, and you can do anything. In fact, think back in time when you did that. When did it happen? Sometimes you see kids get out of school, get out of high school. You look at them, they're energized, they're going like crazy, right? They've got a dream, they've got a plan. You can't stop them if you wanted to. And look at somebody who's 50 years old and you think, man, what stopped them? So what fires you up? If you hang around me long enough, you'll know that constantly, day in, day out, 24 hours a day if I'm not sleeping, that I'm always looking for the thing that's going to fire me up and get you from this room to the next room. And sometimes it is that simple. But sometimes when I sit down, I want to write, or I want to record, or I want to do a big project, or I want to do anything like that. It takes some massive motivation to get me going. So I'm digging in to figure it out. And trust me when I say this, I will not begin a project if I don't find the intrinsic motivation to do it. There is no reason to start something that you're not going to finish. There is no reason to sit on the fence and keep thinking about it and beating yourself up, making yourself feel better if you know you don't have the motivation to get into it and to complete it. So look for those areas that fire you up. So where's it come from? Well, first, motivation is powerful, but the number one rule is your physiology dictates your feelings. The easiest way for you to break free from any kind of a slump or step up beyond that, I'm not saying you're in a slump, you may be just riding real high and you want more, is stand up, take a step, repeat. Physically. Physically do something. When you move, your world changes. If you can stand up, you can do miracles. If you can get outside, you can do miracles. It's amazing what happens when you just start to move. And so many people get stuck. So many people move so slowly. I am not the youngest guy on the planet, but when I hang around people my age, they move really slowly. When I hang around people younger than me, I move at the same pace they do. And sometimes it's hard to do that. I'm not 25 years old, not 40 years old. Sometimes it's hard for me to move that way. That's why I go to the gym and work out. I make sure that there's certain exercises I can do to keep me strong, keep me agile, keep me moving. Why? Physiology dictates your feelings. So if you're stuck right now, if you're trying to figure out what to do, get fired up by moving. Somehow, some way. Drop to the floor, do some sit-ups, do some push-ups, something like that. That's the easiest way to do it. In fact, when I'm working with somebody, personally, certainly, last thing I want to do is sit down and have a conversation. I want to get some physical movement going right away because once we get there, everything changes. So I know you may not want to do that, Scott, but I'm going to think it through. I got some AI I'm going to work on. That's going to get me fired up. No, it's not. Move your body. Number 2, what are you thinking about? Are you focused on something? The answer is yes, you are focused on something. You may say, well, Scott, my problem is I'm so distracted. I'm so unfocused. No, you're focused on that. You're not focused on what you want to be focused on. Very hard to focus. What happens when you focus on something? Well, if it's something you love to do, you just kind of get immersed in it, which is why we kind of want to do what makes our heart sing and focus on things we like to do that get our interest. And to the best of your ability, spend your entire day getting rid of the stuff you just don't like to do that don't fire you up. I know it's kind of hard to do, but you can do that. You're the boss of you. If there are things you don't like to do, and listen, as the days go by, we're always getting involved in things that we may not want to spend our time doing. But if you were to go out and if you were to say, listen, let me get rid of most of the things I don't like to do and just not do them anymore, you're going to automatically lean and focus on the things you do like to do. Focus fuels your fire. If you're unmotivated, you will drift in the wind with no direction. When you shift your thoughts into kind of a positive direction, what excites you, what breaks you out, what gets you moving, when you do that, suddenly life changes. Now, what's the caveat here? Focus is like a decision. When you make a decision, you literally cut off options. That's what happens. So focusing on the things you should be focused on, and am I talking to you right now? Are you hearing there are things that you should be focused on and you're just not doing? You got to get focused. So we're going to move physically, start to feel better, and then we're going to really dig in and say, if I'm going to focus on something, is it something I just need to get done and that's going to fire him up? Or is it something that I just really love to do? I'm going to do more of it. Finally, there's a lot of words going around. We live in a world right now with more words than has ever happened before. The AI world. We have written word all over the place. It's endless. There is so much content now. There is so much everything now. So many words to read. And those words are interesting because the words are coming into your head and you're reading them in your own little voice. And therefore, they are part of your body. They're vibrating within your body. Even if you're thinking about it, it's happening. And you're creating emotions. Some of the AI is causing video characters, whether digital influencers, I guess. Some podcasts are done by AI now. I think voiceover actors are going to be out of business here in a very short period of time. I never thought that this show could be done by AI. I've been running tests. You would be very surprised. It's about 99% me. Not that I'm going to do that, but I'm curious. I just never thought it could happen. Words are coming. Emotion is coming. It's everywhere right now. We're just inundated by it. But the worst kind is a negative self-talk that you talk to yourself, that you put in your own head. And if you're talking negative about anybody else, I got news for you. Not only is it going to hurt them, it's turning you upside down inside as well. When I talk to clients who come in the door for the very first time, the first thing they do is they start negative talking and they go backwards. They go back 5 years, 10 years. Well, I've always done this, or it's always like that, or last week. They always go backwards. And whenever they go backwards, they don't go backwards in a positive way. They go backwards in a negative way. What that does is it makes everything going forward negative as well. So if you're going to go backwards, if you're going to talk about things or think about things in the past, immediately flip it. Try to spin it externally, internally into something positive and uplifting. The words matter a whole lot more than you think in terms of how you're actually going to... Sorry, hit two buttons at the same time. Yeah, they matter a whole lot more than you think. They really, truly do. So if your physiology is moving, you're going to be motivated. If you're focused, you're going to be motivated. If you say good stuff about yourself and everybody around you, you're going to be much more motivated, at least a whole lot happier. Hey, if you want notes for Scott, just go to notesfromscott.com. We'll send that out to you right away. I think you'll like it. And if not, you can unsubscribe whenever you feel like it.